You're probably wondering how my grandma got involved with this. Well, my grandma was everything to me. You know, I lived with her for a certain part of my life and she was just like a mother to me. So seeing her go through cancer, seeing her on hospice, and then seeing her die and her body being taken and her not being around the house, it did numbers on me. And I didn't realize how much it affected me until I was like, I'm leaving. I'm gonna be moving. And I say that this is the catalyst for my spiritual awakening, and I just found that out last week, that was the start of my spiritual awakening, because back in the day I wasn't aware of God, I wasn't spiritual at all, I didn't believe in God at all because of how my family portrayed Christianity and everything like that and God. So I didn't really believe in God, I didn't really care for God around that time. I believed God was real, but I didn't believe like God was a person that everybody was making God to be. I just felt like if God was in the room, then where is he? That's how I always felt. Like, you'll compliment a bitch, right? And she looks you up and down for complimenting her. Like, how about I fucking punch you in your mouth? But God was real, because in that moment, I already had the money to move. It was not like I had to dig in my pocket or nothing. Like, I had more than enough to move, and I moved. I moved very quickly, and I moved out at 19. And without realizing it, my grandmother was the reasoning for the generational curse break. It's like she died for this generational curse break. I didn't know it was a generational thing until recently. I didn't know that we were all male-centered and there was male-centering in our lives until I realized that I learned this from somewhere, you know? You don't just type this thing on YouTube and like, how do I become male-centered? You were taught it subconsciously, and now this is how you act, this is how you behave, and it is what it is. But she was the catalyst of becoming aware without me knowing. I moved out at 19, and when you move out that young, especially when you had a little bit of a strict family dynamic, I wouldn't say my family was super strict, but my grandparents were definitely a lot more stricter than my mom and my dad. And my dad was kind of strict too. My grandparents were strict, so I used to lie to do a lot of things. Like, I was a complete liar. I'm not gonna lie, I lied like shit. Like, I lied to get my way. And you know, that's why it was cool to be a manipulator, because you had to lie. Like, if you grew up in a strict home, you know that you have to lie to get your way. Because if you be honest, you're gonna get your ass beat. You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna be punished. Like, who wants to be punished when they're trying to grow up and learn these shits and have fun, you know? So I lied a lot, and you know, I feel like that lying, you know, made it easier to be selfish. Because when you lie, you don't give a fuck about nobody else and who it hurts. They're doing it for you. So I became more selfish, obviously. But yeah, I lied a lot, and lying had led me, honestly, to the man that was my high school sweetheart, and he did everything for me. This was the man that really showed me everything, and this is why I really say people really come into your life to show you about yourself. People come into your life to also invite you to new things as well, to show you that, hey, this is possible, you know? You know, just because you're living this way doesn't mean that somebody else is living this way. Like, if this person can have it, you can have it too. And that's what my ex-boyfriend taught me, and that's why I will always speak great about him, because I felt like he introduced me into family. And yes, I have family. I had a really big one. They all are starting to pass away now, and I enjoyed my time with family. But this was a different dynamic. This dynamic was healthy. It was beautiful. It was real connection. I felt like I was a part of the family. They had family gatherings. They had dinner together at the table, talking about each other's day. They gave family to me. They was just so supportive of each other and just so loving. Like, the wife and the husband were so loving of each other. Like, I was not used to that. So when I was seeing all of that, and when they took me in as their family too, and they took care of me. They made sure that I was good on Christmas. And you know what's crazy? You know, my grandmother, she always would make sure that we were good on Christmas, but when she started to get sick, you know, it wasn't the same, you know, energy because she was starting to get sick. So around the time she was starting to get sick, I had my ex-boyfriend. So it was like I wasn't really losing out on that Christmas energy because Christmas is my favorite holiday, and I just always felt loved. I felt loved, and I felt like a part of something. And that's what I loved about my ex-boyfriend, because my ex-boyfriend showed me that, yeah, you know, family is not always arguments and fights and deceptions and putting their hands on each other. Family is actually this. This is how family is supposed to be. The husband takes the lead, wife is just chilling. Like I love their whole family dynamic. I was obsessed with them. They were great people. I have nothing bad to say. If anything, I fucked that up. I fucked it up. I fucked it up when I decided to leave him behind for a man that was my type on paper, and then just to find out that the man on paper, my type on paper, was literally just me, just like me. His family was just like me too, like literally down to living with your grandma. Like, we were so much similar, but we were both toxic, okay, in that aspect. He didn't understand family, I didn't understand family, and that's why it was so toxic, because we were just arguing. It was just fights. That's how we communicate, and it just reminded me of home. This was home, okay? And that's why when people say, oh, like, he feels like home. Yeah, there's two different homes. One that's safe, one that's not, okay? I had the safe version too, okay, of home. But I don't want to skip the story. Then there's a toxic version of home, okay? And that toxic version, it's intoxicating. You will be in that shit forever because your brain is so addicted to the chaos. And my brain was addicted to the chaos. The adrenaline that I got from getting yelled at, the adrenaline I got from being mistreated, the adrenaline I got from chasing this man, the adrenaline that I got, that was what I was chasing. Because I was used to that my whole life. I was not used to, like, the family thing that was love and connection and supportive. I was addicted to that too, but then it got boring when I came across this guy, because that's what I was used to. His mom called me a nigger. I just went from a family that loved me, then I went to a family that despised me, literally hated my ass. She was tripping. She was tripping. Called me a because I was enjoying her son. So I don't have to say anything else more besides that. But I went from that to that, and that's when it became hell for me. That's when it became hell for me, because I went from someone who was literally amazing, who literally brought me this camera that I'm literally making his videos on, who introduced me to my love of photography because he just wanted to make me happy. He was like the taking the lead type of guy. Let me just do what I have to do for my girl. But he also enabled me because I was selfish. I was toxic. You know, I was not a good person, but he allowed that because he loved me unconditionally, which I never loved anyone unconditionally in my life until recently. I did barely loved anyone in my life, so they loved me unconditionally, but I did not love them because I didn't know how to do that. I was taught conditional love, okay? I was taught to love people on terms, not through everything. So when people were loving me through everything and then I stopped loving them because it was on my terms, I was like, I don't give a fuck. And that's why I was reaping that motherfucking karma, bitch, and got called a nigga. I want to bring it back to the camera because he's the one that got me a camera so I can explore my YouTube journey when I moved out, because I couldn't really do what I wanted to do in my family's house because they were judgmental. You know, we were a judgmental family. We talk shit about each other. We talk shit about our family. We talk shit about people on TV. That's just how we did it. So I've never felt comfortable being myself. And I still to this day don't, you know, because you don't know what to expect, you know, for if you've been judged for so many years, you know, you're expecting that judgment all the time. But moving out gave me the freedom to be myself. So I wanted to explore YouTube. I wanted to be a YouTuber. And my man got me a camera. He got me a camera, and I was like, okay, since I got this nice little camera, let me try to explore it and learn how to do this so I can be on YouTube with it. And I became a photographer after that. And I've explored so many things, but you know, we'll get to that part of the story later. But my point is, like, people come into our lives and they show us about us. It's not really, you know, anything else besides that. But I think that we are so focused on the physical aspect of it, we don't see the spirituality in it. We don't see the spiritual in it. And that's why a lot of us keep repeating the same lessons until we get it. And for me, you know, although I fucked up with my ex-boyfriend, I fucked up, you know, because again, I was still male-centered. And I call myself male-centered because if I wasn't male-centered, I would have never left for a person that was my type on paper. You know, I wanted that, so that's why I had to leave and explore that. But without him, I wouldn't have explored this photography, this film, this director part of myself that I never knew I was interested in until I was interested into it. You know, like, I didn't think that that was in me, but it was in me. And the reason why I was able to explore that and come to that realization was because of my ex-boyfriend. He introduced me into that Buy Me camera, and then I ended up having that already within me, and now here I am making my own thing. You know what I'm saying? So I needed that part. Even the fuck up, I needed as well too. So like, I don't really blame myself. I don't really talk. I don't talk shit about my past self. I love her, because without her, I wouldn't be able to sit here and make this video in confidence about being self-accountable about your fuck ups. I fucked up. Okay, I fucked up. Okay, I went from a loving family to chaos, and the chaos led me to destruction and to bad behaviors and to narcissistic narcissistic attitudes, narcissistic behaviors, trauma, real trauma. Okay, trauma that I created on my own, not from my mom and dad, but I created this trauma because of what I wanted to experience, because of my male-centeredness, because my need for attention and validation from people that I deem as attractive. Needless to say, this retired crash out is about me and my male-centeredness, because most of the time the crash out is only really coming from a man. It's not really coming from anything else. It's coming from the fact that you need attention from somebody. You need validation from somebody, and the truth is, we all have our own issues, and mine was mommy and daddy issues. I even have sister wounds, brother wounds, sibling wounds, friend wounds, all of that, and we'll get into all those things. But right now I want to talk about how my male-centeredness ruined my life. And it's not here to sit here and say there's nothing wrong with falling in love. Nothing's wrong with falling in love. You need to fall in love with yourself first. And that's the missing ingredient in all of the rhetoric that we talk about nowadays. We forget to talk about how much love within ourselves first really drives the loves outside of us. And I feel like a lot of people lack that. A lot of people grew up with just focusing on the physical aspect of life, and that's why they never really had the chance to have a relationship with themselves and really understand what God is trying to do here. And I had the opportunity to really understand what God is trying to do here. That's why I know every single spiritual lesson that I ever went through, because I sat down and I did the work. I sat down and I tried to figure out what was everybody in my life trying to tell me. What was everybody in my life trying to show me? Because it is my priority to be the mother that I've always wanted. It is my priority to give my kids the father that I always wanted. I cannot repeat this generational curse. I have to break it, and if I can't break it this lifetime, then I will not be married until I break it. You know? And I plan on breaking it now, so that's why I want to share my journey, because I know there's a lot of people like me who are trying to figure themselves out and trying to figure out what God is trying to say. And God is trying to say is, love is not in the air. Love is being secluded, and that is the problem. I'm going to give the first guy a name. We're gonna call him Tom. Tom is my first boyfriend. The second guy we're gonna give a name, and we're gonna call him Matt. So when you hear these names, you don't need a face. Obviously, I'm not gonna do all of that, because then they can come up here and talk shit about me, and I'm not trying to do that. But Matt is the one who really showed me about myself, because Matt introduced to me the chaotic energy that I was always in for a very long time. Matt introduced to me that I was insecure, that I was fake, that I was phony, that I was not a good friend, that I was not a good lover, that I was lustful, I was a cheater, deceitful, a devil. Whatever you think the devil did, I did that shit too. That's why I don't hate the devil. I can't hate the devil if I was the devil too. Why would I hate something that I was? You know? That just makes no sense. That's backwards. That's not how we heal. That's not how we fucking heal. We heal by loving that part of ourselves and changing it. And I loved all of the schemes that I did, all the fakeness. I was not a good friend. I talked mad shit. I gossiped. I talked shit about people and their appearance and how they look. I definitely was talking shit about women. Oh, best believe any bitch that, bitch. Any bitch that was fucking with him, I was hating that bitch. I was hating her, and it was for my own insecurities. I was comparing myself. He used to like the baddest girls. Oh my gosh, the baddest girls. Matt used to like the baddest girls, like the most beautiful body, gorgeous girls, bro. So I was all skinny me, no body. I did have a body, but like, you know, I didn't have an ass. I didn't have much of titties, because this is the time where I was doing cocaine and I was losing weight and all that bullshit. So I was really comparing myself to them girls, because they was thickums. Them girls looking good. I look at the girl now and I'm like, bro, I was literally a hater, because that girl was beautiful. Okay, young but beautiful. All right, gorgeous queen, have nothing bad to say. Nowadays, back then, yeah, I had a lot to say. I was not a nice person, okay? And I realized this too by the friends that I had as well, because, you know, you also you attract the people that you are, okay? So when I was attracting a bunch of gossipers, people that was just like me, and then they turn around and did me dirty in the end, I was always shocked. But how could you be shocked if I was dirty too, you know? Like, I was dirty too, so why would I be shocked that people do me dirty if I'm over here doing other people dirty? Like, why would that be shocking to me? But it was shocking to me, because again, I didn't think I was ever wrong. I thought I was always right. Being wrong did not come out of my mouth. And if it had to come out of my mouth, you're cut off, bitch, because I'm not saying it. You're out of your fucking mind if you think that I'm wrong, bitch. It was you. I wouldn't have acted out of that character, because it was you, bitch. It was you. Matt also made me fucking crazy. Like, I was a stalker, bitch. I became crazy. I started having fake pages so I can watch this man, because he blocked me, of course. Duh. Yeah, let me fuck the shit out of you and then block you because I have a girlfriend now. Like, let's do that shit. Let's play with your mind. Let me keep fucking you, and then all of a sudden pop out with a girlfriend. Now my girlfriend has me blocking you because I am in love with you too. Yeah. So yeah, he used to block me, so I had to create a fake page and see what he was doing, and you know, I would be watching him and he would be doing the same with me, and he can sit here and lie through his fucking mouth acting like he wasn't watching me. He was, because he knew everything about my life. How the fuck you know my life if you wasn't watching me, bitch? But yeah, he made me become crazy. He made me become extremely controlling in that matter. Like, I have to know what my partner's doing at all times. I have to have your location, all that bullshit. Because what the fuck? Like, he made me crazy. Because what did he do? Gave me the dick and then withdraw. Stop acting like I wasn't a person. Completely avoid me, talk to other women, purposely do things to hurt me, should like post his real type. You know, I don't have to keep going through this. Like, well, maybe I should. But the thing is, he told me who he was. I still ignored the red flags. And you want to know what's crazy? And what I totally believe in? When people say, oh, I'm this type of person, right? It's to throw you off because you're not gonna believe that they're this type of person. It makes you want to try it more. Just like when someone say, oh, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't rock with this person, like you shouldn't. It makes you want to rock with them more, because it's like, why are you telling me what the fuck to do? It's the same type of thing. He's like, I'm not gonna cuff you, you're not gonna be my girlfriend, I'm not looking for a wife, I'm looking for this and this and all this bullshit. And he's like, I'm not a good guy, I'm a bad guy, I'm not a good guy, literally telling me this. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I want that. Like, I want it, because he just looks so damn good. Like, he looked good. I'm not gonna hate. He looked so damn good. But he told me that, and I was like, let's find out. Like, I don't believe that. Let me just actually go through it. Nah, he was a badass person, bitch. He was a badass motherfucking person. Bad as fuck. So when they say people tell you about who they are, actually listen to that shit. Like, don't start, playing tricks on your mind. Like, okay, I think they're just saying this so I can be reeled in, because that's literally what it is, though. People tell you straight up who they are, and it confuses you because you don't understand that they're being real, but the whole time they're literally telling you who they are. But you want to check it out for a game. Like, it's fun. Let's figure out whether this guy toxic. I want to figure it out if he's really a bad guy. And that's what throws you off, okay? Even when someone says, I'm a good guy, I'm not falling for that rhetoric. I need for you to actually prove that you're a good guy, though, because that could even be a deceptive thing too. But shit, you gotta just, I don't know, sometimes you gotta listen to it, because they be telling you who they are. You gotta be just paying attention. Like, stop trying to create a scenario in your head, because that's exactly what I did. I had an imagination in my head, and I ran with that imagination. That man was gonna be my husband, because he looked like Heath Ledger. He looked just like Heath Ledger to me, and I loved Heath Ledger. So I was going through my childhood fantasy of that being my man, and we were gonna go ride a horse together one day after he discovered that he's in love with me. That was my fantasy, and I didn't give a fuck what reality was showing me, because in my head that man was mine, because he looked like Heath Ledger. Like, I just, oh my gosh. And it's so crazy though, because I always wanted a man that looked like Heath Ledger, because I just wanted Heath Ledger so bad. And then when he died, it just killed me. Like, so to have a man that looked like Heath Ledger right in front of my face with that body though, the devil was real, because that was just sent from hell. Like, and I took it and ate it up and still got fucked. So yeah, listen to what people are telling you, and just because they look like your celebrity crush when you was 10 don't mean you need to explore it. So as a retired crash out, the main reason why I was crash out was because I was mail center. My favorite website was Insta Story Viewer.